Today is Sunday, July 4th, 2021, and I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Happy Independence Day. America's pretty cool, and I'm down to argue, but I don't have to. Just go listen to session 24. Today, I'm going to be talking about The Purge. I know, random, and what's going to happen with this show in the next couple of days, weeks, whatever. Welcome to Derapy Season 2. The Suns and the Bucks are officially going to the NBA Finals. Game 1 is on Tuesday. I'm very excited. I'm extremely excited. Oh my god, I can't wait. But we're not going to be talking about that today, but we will be talking about it soon. I feel like I've been saying I'm going to talk about hoops forever, but I've just got so tired of being wrong about everything all the time. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But I'll be back soon talking hoops, hopefully with a friend or a family member. Somebody's in, I don't know. We'll get to it later. This session is going to be pretty light. I'm going to discuss a concept that I love. Like from an entertainment standpoint. I don't think it's practical or like good ethically. But it's The Purge. Just think of all the good The Purge does. A movie and series based around the idea of America having a 12-hour period once a year where all crime, including murder, is legal. So like everything goes. Like, no exaggeration. Robbery, general domestic terrorism, sexual assault, normal assault, casual assault, heavy assault, everything that you can imagine, like, bad, you can do it. Like, it's straight. And I think that, I mean, just talking about it out of context is, like, crazy. But for a movie, like a rated R film, sounds dope. Like, from the very second I heard about it, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whenever it came out, I was like, this is sick. I mess with it. This past week, I've consumed so much Purge-related content. And the reason why is because I'm not feeling particularly violent. It's because, I promise, like, I'm okay. The new Purge movie, I think it released 2 days ago, July 2nd. It's called The Forever Purge. Not a great idea, like, on its face. But, you know, it's the new movie in the series. And I've consumed so much Purge-related content because I just find it fascinating, not just because of the concept, but also because the execution of the idea in long-form media has been so poor. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. The first movie that came out, it follows one white family. Mom, dad, brother, sister. That's it. It's about them locking down for the night. Little boy, the son, he's super weird for whatever reason. He sees some random black dude running down the street saying that he needs help, and he just lets him in. He just lets him in their house, which is just... And then they find out that this black dude was supposed to be purged, supposed to be killed by this group of, like, rich, weird white people. And the entire movie is in one house. Now, when I talk about The Purge, I don't know if you're familiar with The Purge before I brought it up today, but if you are, think about how many incredible potential plots and narratives and ideas that could come from such, like, a crazy idea. Literally everything is legal. Everything. You can do anything. And our first introduction to The Purge is like, hey, let's see if this white family can survive the night in their mansion. Like, that's it. That's the entire movie is in one house. I mean, it's great for the people making the movie. Like, they're going to make a killing. But, like, what about us? You know? And when I first watched the movie, I was like, okay, it's a cool slasher, thriller, whatever. But it's like, I just thought, you know, looking back now, after watching the Purge television series, season 1 and 2, I look back at the first movie and I'm like, this sucks. It's terrible. So yeah, that's essentially the first movie. It's just, looking back, it's just bad. I mean, they got Ethan Hawke on it. And, you know, he goes pretty hard in the movie. Like, his performance is good. Like, the acting's good. Like, it's fine. But it's just not as entertaining of a movie as you would expect, considering the premise. So, when I found out there was a Purge series, I was like, oh, I'm watching the hell out of all of that. Like, that's got to be really great. However, the first season, it follows 3 different narratives. It's like, so there is a rich couple, and the man in the relationship is trying to like pitch like some business idea to this really rich dude, but the rich dude happens to be a part of the NFFA, which is like the new Founding Fathers Association, I believe. They're the organization or group that kind of works hand in hand with the government to kind of facilitate the Purge regime. There's like America pre-Purge, and then there's America after they started the Purge, and that was essentially started by the new Founding Fathers Association. It's like this big elitist group or whatever. By the way, the thing with the Purge, the reason why it exists in this universe is because apparently all crime is like way down throughout the year because everybody gets to purge for 12 hours a year. Unemployment's super low, crime's super low, like it's looking like hello utopian apparently because of the Purge. But the series kind of explores, you know, I really think they should have started with the series, by the way, but, you know, you have to make sure that, you know, after that first movie is the success that it is, you know, then you have the funding for projects like the Purge series, but they should have started with the Purge series. There's 2 seasons. I don't think there's going to be a third, to be honest with you, and if there is, I'm probably not going to watch it. But, like I was saying, the first season, there's 3 narratives that it follows. So there's like this Marine who's trying to find his sister. His sister joined like some type of religious cult after her parents died, and like the cult is trying to convince kids that like it's okay to just give yourself up to like rich people that want to kill you because like it's within God's will. It's like a natural transition to the other side. It's whack. It's crazy. And like I wouldn't doubt that something like that would emerge amongst, you know, the Purge, like in this universe, but you know, it just, I don't know, feels kind of lame. The other arc is this black woman who's trying to get up in her company. She's trying to like move up in her corporation, but she has like this really awful boss who's kind of handsy, treats women poorly, only gives promotions to like white women that put out. It's weird, but like she puts out a hit on him for the Purge, and then she like changes her mind, and then it turns out that she really should have. These aren't like huge spoilers, like they're very obvious, you know, linear plots that are like relatively predictable. And then yeah, so that black woman, that former Marine, and then there's that rich couple that's trying to get in good with some guy in the NFFA for the sake of business so that they can stay rich or whatever. If the arcs for the season sound kind of boring, it's because they are. The second season is essentially, again, it's like 3 different arcs where I guess I could say the second season's kind of better, but ultimately, like, by the time the season ends, I'm just like, okay, I mean, like, what I do like about the series is it does provide a lot more context, as it should. There's like 10 full 40 minute to an hour long episode kind of following these 6 narratives. So you do learn a lot more about the Purge and how it works, but you know what? Forget all that. I'm going to talk more about the movies a little bit later, but let me just kind of expand on the Purge a little bit, because I don't think like you would understand why I'm so frustrated about the Purge, because think about all of the things that think about everything that you've ever thought of that's bad or wrong, or you think you deserve, or you think somebody you know deserves to have happen to them. And think about all the incredible storylines that could come from a concept like the Purge. I mean, you can literally do everything. I think what would make a show or a movie like The Purge an incredible watch, like, introduce me to characters and kill them. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, make me like somebody and then take them out within 10 or 15 minutes. Because realistically speaking, The Purge is such an unpredictable, crazy thing that's happening. Everybody has all these they shoot off RPGs. People have like flashbang grenades, legitimate grenades. People have sniper rifles running around. You can just straight up run people over. You can have any type of vehicle that you want. There are so many crazy, like, you would think there would be an all-out civil war if there was a legitimate Purge. And instead, we're just focused on, like, oh, this woman wants to move up in a company. Or, oh, this woman and her husband want to, you know, signed this big business deal, but oh no, that guy's in the NFFA, or oh man, this guy's trying to find his sister. She joined a cult. Ooh, like, it's so weak and it's so annoying. What I kind of appreciate about the second season of The Purge is they do kind of talk a little bit more about the corruption within the NFFA, which is obvious. Like, whoever's running The Purge obviously is going to have, like, ulterior motives. Like, they're not going to be, like, integrity-driven people. I do like when, even in some of the movies, they kind of harp on the fact that, like, hey, is this purge really to make the country better, or is it just about, like, killing off poor people and also black people a little, sometimes, a little bit, maybe, just teensy bit here and there. I feel like if we focus more on the absolute absurdity of the entire idea of the purge, that would make for so much more of an entertaining movie instead of following along, episode after episode after episode, or in a movie, just hours and hours of just following around the same people. I don't care about these people. And the purge shouldn't care about them either. I hate when somebody's like about to die, somebody has a gun to their head or like a knife to their throat, and they're like really, really slowly building up to kill them, and then somebody runs up out of nowhere and saves them. Stop saving people. The purge shouldn't be about saving people. Like, if you want to have some people on the side here or there that are providing like medical treatment or whatever, that's fine. But stop. Like, the purge, people should be way, way, way more selfish about the purge. Here's how I would deal with the purge. This is my not so fun answer. I'm hiding. Like, if I lived in the apartment that I do right now and the purge was legit, I would be under my bed for 12 continuous hours. That's all I'd be doing. I'd watch a little bit of that movie. I'd love... This sounds cruel, but the idea of me being in this apartment, like, I think that, like, I wouldn't say I'm well off. I wouldn't even say I'm comfortable. I'm certainly not financially free. If I missed a paycheck for 2 or 3 weeks, like, it's over for me. I mean, that's just the reality of my situation, okay? I hate that the purge has to focus on rich people going down from the purge or very poor people going down. Make a purge about, like, an average, everyday person, like me, and how I'd have no shot. To me, that's an entertaining story. I want to be in a movie or I want to watch a TV show that, if it's supposed to be based around, like, fear, like it's supposed to be a thriller or a horror, like, actually show me something that could happen to me, like, scare me a little bit, you know, make me think, oh my god, if I was in that situation, I don't know what I would do. That's the reason why my fiance and I love watching terrible television, because as terrible as the television is, it still comes from a place of, what would I do if I was in that situation? Like, I know we're way off, but this is really this is my thing here. So there's a show called Temptation Island, and it's essentially like an extended bachelor party. Like, you test the faith and the loyalty of your partner, and it's really, really fun to watch an awful show like that, because all these people have all this terrible behavior, but then you get to look to the person next to you and say, we wouldn't be like that, would we? How would we act in that situation? What would you do if they did that to you? That's fun. When I'm watching these purge movies, I'm like, why are they acting like that? That wouldn't really happen. And for an idea that's as crazy and free and unpredictable as the purge, you'd think that they could write something up that, like, keeps me entertained, and it's not. This is just me ranting about how I think the purge should be better. But I want to talk about these other 2 movies before I move on. The first Purge movie was really just about, like, that one white family. And then the second Purge movie was literally just about, oh, this guy is going to avenge his son who was killed by, like, a drunk driver, like, a year ago. And then, spoiler alert, for the second Purge movie, Purge Anarchy. He finds the guy, and he doesn't even kill him. So, okay. And then the other narrative part, the other plot, the B plot, so to speak, like, the mother and her daughter, like, somehow they find a way to just survive, and they get saved by this, like, ragtag group of, like, anarchists, people that are against the purge. And I'd love a movie literally just about that group, that militia of people that are against the purge. But we don't get that. Like, they don't want to give us the actual good stuff. the last two movies before this brand new one. The one that comes out in 2016, it's called The Purge Election Year. It's just talking about the purge from the perspective of politicians, how they think they're above it, and how government or the NFFA would potentially go out of their way to try and kill their political opponents. And there's a lot of like Trump stuff in there that's very obvious, and I think that's, just kind of takes you out of the movie. The last Purge is the second to newest Purge is actually called The First Purge, and it's just about how the Purge started and how like everybody's very hesitant to actually do the Purge, which again is a great concept in theory, but the main antagonist in that movie is like one weird mentally ill dude with like a knife, and it's just such a letdown. Whatever. Anyways, I'm rewatching Purge Election Year and The First Purge with Spice today, but it's the 4th of July, so we're going to be drinking a lot, so maybe I'll enjoy it more, and I might talk about it more, but I'm just kidding. No, I won't. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. However, we are going to see, the plan is to go see The Forever Purge tomorrow, the brand new one that just came out, and my hopes are not extremely high for it, but I might give like a very, very, very brief recap sometime within the next week. So I promised, I believe, either in the introduction or just early on in this session, I promised that I'd give like a little bit of an update about the direction that the show is going to be going. People really enjoyed, I got a lot of good feedback on the session where I talked about my experience in a fraternity and my view on sororities and how Greek life affected me. Sharif and I talked very candidly about our experience. Him and I talked a little bit after. He was like, I thought he was talking like he had a wire on him, and I just wanted to kind of like hint at him before and during we talked about it. Like, dude, you can speak freely here. Like, it's okay. And I hope in the future when I have other people on that like they understand that this is like a safe space. Nobody's gonna really judge you. Not that many people listen to this. It's not that big of a deal. We're just friends, or we're peers, or we're family, and we're just talking. We're just talking. It's fine. Nobody's going to come after you. Nobody's going to cancel you. I'm not going to lose any money if I have like a bad episode, because like I'm not really getting paid that much to begin with. But moving forward in the next couple of days and the next couple of weeks, I do plan on having sessions or episodes with more guests on, and we're going to talk a little bit more, not only about, we're obviously going to talk about some things that these people I have on are passionate about, because the more passionate you are about something, or the more comfortable you feel about something, the more entertaining of an experience and a more enjoyable experience is going to be, not only for the people, myself and the guests doing it, but also for the people that are listening. So look forward to that coming very, very soon. I might have a guest as soon as the next session. Today is Sunday, July 4th, as I mentioned earlier. So on Tuesday, July 6th, I will see you, and I should have a lovely, wonderful guest. And Derapy is about to get really cool, and I appreciate you listening. Please send me all the feedback if you hate it, if you love it. If you love it, by all means, follow, subscribe, all that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give me a 5-star rating. But if you hate it, if you hate the show, if you hate the episode, if you just hate me, don't leave a rating. Just hit me up. Tell me that I suck personally. Like, I can live with that, but like, don't put me out in the public like that. I really wouldn't appreciate it. Anyways, if you're listening, I love you. I mean it. I'll see you in a couple of days. This episode was made possible by Anchor. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, please consider giving me a follow so you can be notified when I upload. If this ever ends up on Apple Podcasts, I'd really appreciate a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at Derapy Podcast or Instagram at Derapy_podcast. The intro music is by my brother, Damon Buxton. Outro music is by Lobo, and cover art is by my friend Nick Johnson. Thanks for listening. This has been Derapy.